My name is Stephen Maddock and I'm Chief Executive of the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, and I'm delighted to be joined today by John Hodgson, who's the Managing Partner of the Birmingham office of professional services firm Smith Williamson. John, tell me, first of all, tell us about Smith Williamson. What does the firm do?
Well, firstly, hello, Stephen. Smith Williamson is a combined financial services and professional services firm. That means that we do classic accountancy plus investment management, plus actually we're a private bank as well. That unique combination is what we provide to our clients. Pretty much we have clients all over the country, private clients, wealthy individuals, and we look after them and their business interests. So I may as well ask the Brexit question while we're here. How's Brexit going to affect the orchestra?
Well, I think the short answer is nobody knows yet. We're actually working on some contingencies for our first post-Brexit tour, which happens in May of 2019. So 6 weeks after Brexit, we have a tour that takes in 12 concerts in 6 different countries, including Switzerland, so we have to go in and out of the EU a couple of times, with a group of musicians that will be themselves about 15 different nationalities, something like that. Nobody can tell us anything for sure. I think best case, if we're in the transition period for at least, for those 21 months, there shouldn't be too much difference. And then post 2021, it depends on the future relationship. In the worst case of a no-deal Brexit, I mean, as we know, at the moment, nobody even knows how planes will be able to take off or lorries will be able to go across at Dover. But one of the things I've made clear through our moments of consultation, it's only really been that, have been that there needs to be a regime that recognises that travelling abroad for a few days to do a concert and then come home, or take some instruments over in a truck that you then bring back, 6 million quid's worth of instruments in a truck, that is different from taking, food or agricultural products or machine tools or whatever to Europe that you're going to sell. So having that as frictionless and as as tariff-free as possible is really, really important. But we rely on, our insurance, our health services for musicians, the list is
I just have this horror of all of your instruments in a lorry and 2 or 3 instruments being confiscated or delayed for a week for whatever clearance mechanism. Presumably those sorts of things are just, they're disaster for you.
Yeah, actually, you can only do a concert if you have all the musicians there and all the instruments there. So if you
the same time.
At the same time.
Yes.
So if you have a very short notice problem with that, then actually, that's a huge, 5 or 6 figure sum that we're not going to get paid. Thousands of people are going to be disappointed, all that sort of stuff. So there are very big operational risks for us. We're being really, spending a lot of time and energy on how we can best mitigate those problems. But, frankly, my view has remained the same since the day of the referendum, which is that there's really no upside from Brexit as far as orchestras are concerned. There's a lot of potential downside. There's nothing stopping us touring China, Japan, the Middle East at the moment. We do so on a fairly regular basis. It's complicated, but it works. But of course, we tour much more to Europe, which is quite easy at the moment and very frictionless. So I see no ways in which a no-deal Brexit or any other kind of Brexit will make it easier to go to China or Japan or the USA, and lots of ways in which it will make it harder to go to Europe and to bring European artists into the UK. So I was
going to say, because I imagine your talent pool isn't just the UK, it's going to be clearly the world, but primarily Europe, I would have thought.
That's right. So we have, I think, 9 or 10 different European nationalities in the orchestra because every job is open that way. And frankly, if we want to remain world class, and if this country wants its orchestras to remain world class, we shouldn't be restricting ourselves to the talent pool just within the UK, fine though that is. And we have some very wonderful conservatoires in the UK, but we see ourselves as like the Premier League football teams. The growth and the development over the last couple of decades has come from having those open borders, and that has been to the benefit of the fans, the audiences, and the people who pay to hear us. And actually, that means that we're recruiting world-class musicians from anywhere in the world, but particularly from within the EU, and we don't want to see that stop. thinking about your sector, which is very internationally connected in the way that the cultural sector is, what are the biggest risks and concerns for you? Because I mean, to the extent that they've become apparent yet, but I guess if you're dealing with people and money that is mobile, there's a risk that people will go somewhere where there's a lot less hassle.
I think so, and I think it's interesting. We've recently done a survey amongst the scale-up community, so the growing business community. Really, as part of we have a campaign going, the Dream Bigger campaign.
Vital in this region, those businesses.
Vital in this region, absolutely. Actually, the sentiment amongst them is not that Brexit is going to be the biggest issue. There are other concerns that overall Brexit is still an issue, but it's not the biggest issue. Partly, I suspect, is because of the exchange rate movement, certainly in this region, has supported exporters. And so the edge has been taken off Brexit.
Sure.
Yes, the issues that the CBSO face are faced by all businesses. But actually, if we've got a pricing advantage, then to some extent that can compensate. Rather, actually, it's quite interesting. Again, it links back to what you were talking about. The number one concern is recruiting talent.
The skills,
Skills. Particularly for business, IT skills and business development skills, so soft skills and quite deep technical skills. And whilst something over a third of the people we surveyed are actually looking to increase headcount over the next 12 months or so through Brexit, a quarter of those are expecting that they might not be able to do it because of the lack of talent to attract.
Oh, really? And presumably that's a combination of people who've been to school and college in this country not having adequate skills.
Correct.
And the falling off of people sort of opting to move to the UK for work, which
dropping
we know
off
has
a bit.
already
Yes,
been
it is that
as
combination.
well.
It is that combination. I think particularly it is the focus on local education, maybe being slightly out of touch with the needs of business today.
Yes.
I mean, certainly business development skills need to be international business development skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
So languages drop into that as well as other things. But yes, I mean, I think Brexit will, who knows yet, but if there's a restriction on the importing of key talent, then undoubtedly that will have an effect on business as well as the orchestra.
Do you see any upsides for your clients or for the firm as a whole?
I think it depends who you talk to. I think there are those businesses in particular that trade internationally outside of the UK, outside of Europe.
Outside of Europe,
they are very bullish about the future. I think that there's clearly a spectrum. There's those larger organisations, dare I say, that trade outside of Europe at one end, and I think there's probably going to the other end, those businesses whose first forays have just been into Europe, have no experience wider than just being able to cross the channel. And I think those are having to make preparations now. And that's quite interesting. I mean, it is, some businesses are actively making preparations. Other businesses are sitting to see and wait what happens. Because there is always cost. And actually a lot of these businesses are quite stripped down. And actually time and cost are quite valuable. So they will wait, they're waiting. And clearly that brings risk. And I guess business world, such as any other, a business all about balanced risk. Some people take the view they're going to wait and see. Some people take the preparation route. As a firm, we're much more along the lines of you should be prepared for whatever eventuality. And we've got a series of seminars, both here in Birmingham, in Colmar Row, and across our other offices, very much aimed at business finance directors, business owners. And one of the key subjects at the moment is preparing for Brexit
Right, yeah.
as the number one slot, together with the usual business advisory updates. But very much so, that's, I think at this stage you can only prepare because, as you said yourself, we don't know yet, and it could well be the 29th of March before we do know.
Indeed, absolutely. And you know, as even the most enthusiastic proponents of Brexit now admit, it may well be that there's some short-term pain in order to get to the gains that might only be seen in the very long term. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're a business that's already struggling to keep afloat, that's challenging, isn't it? It helps those who can invest for the long term.
And I think it does. It seems to me, and I have no right answer here. I don't think anybody has an answer at all. But it does seem to me that those that trade more widely at the moment are going to be the best placed to overcome whatever the hurdles are immediately following Brexit.
Because the risk is a bit more diversified.
And they're more used to dealing with World Trade Organization documentation, etc.